Federacia, Williams. Amarra, Muniain. Amavia, Berenguer. Amalawa, Dani García. Amasaspia, Yuri. Amasorcia, De Marcos. Eta hogeita bia, Raúl García. Epaña dirige el encuentro el colegiado Carlos del Cerro Grande del Comité de Árbitros de la Comunidad de Madrid.
Enjoy a super production shot on more than 20 cameras using the latest technology. It's not fiction, it's not a thriller, it's something much bigger. And after 90 seasons, the excitement is still intact in La Liga Santander and La Liga Smart Bank. It's not football, it's La Liga.
Good evening and welcome to a very wet San Mamés. It's a case of so far so good for Marcelino since taking over as coach of Athletic Club. Only 2 defeats in 11 games and he's already managed to put a trophy in the cabinet. Tonight's test brings a familiar foe. Villarreal, of course, the club he coached for 3.5 seasons. They're having problems this season getting past the draw. They've drawn 12 times and they've not won since 6 matches back on January the 8th. Can Unai Emery's team change their luck tonight? They certainly were impressive in midweek with a 2-0 win over Salzburg in the Europa League. Can they transform or transfer that form into tonight's league game? I'm delighted to be joined by Tony Padilla. Tony, Marcelino, it's been really impressive, hasn't it? The way that he's come in and wasted no time and just transformed the fortunes of this club.
Hi, Pete. Yeah, he really changed the season for Athletic Club. Under Gaisca Garitano, it was like a sad team, unable to perform well, unable to win games. And suddenly Marcelino came to this town in North Spain. And it was like a completely different team. Raúl García back into the team. He used to be on the bench under Gaisca Garitano, and with Raúl García up front alongside Iñaki Williams, Athletic beat Real Madrid in the Super Cup semi-finals, then beat Barca in the final. They win a title. It's not something they're used to do in the last seasons. And every game it seems they are playing better football, as they prove in the last one against Cádiz when they scored 4 goals. So let's see what they're able to do today against Villarreal.
Well, it doesn't always end well with Marcelino. It certainly didn't end particularly well at Villarreal. He took over in the 2012-13 season midway through and got them promoted back into the first division, as we see the Athletic players coming out onto the pitch. Then they finished sixth again, and in the 2015-16 season they finished 4th, so they were in the Champions League preliminary stages, but he didn't start the season. A falling out, an argument with Matteo Musacchio, who was a defender at the club at the time. But whilst it doesn't always end well, usually have some fun along the way, and that certainly happened at Villarreal. It happened at Valencia, and it's already happening at Athletic Club, because as Tony says, he's put a smile back on the club's face, and they've got plenty to look forward to between now and the end of the season. Quite a spectacular light and music show inside the cathedral as the Villarreal players come out onto the pitch. Athletic players already lined up, and a game tonight between 2 sides who very much want to finish in that top 6 to make sure they're playing European football next season. This is the Athletic lineup. They have Unai Simon in goal, De Marcos in ahead of Ander Kappa at right back tonight. Uriay partnered by Inigo Martinez, who's back in the team after serving suspension. Yuri completes the back four. Berenguer, Dani Garcia, Unai Lopez and Ika Munain across the midfield. Berenguer scored twice in that very impressive thrashing of Cadiz in Athletic's last game. Ika Munain, who's been sensational since Marcelino took over, and up front Raul Garcia and Iñaki Williams. And the referee tonight, Carlos Del Cerro Grande, and it's Jorge Figuera Vázquez in the VAR. Here is the Villarreal lineup. Sergio Asenjo in goal. Juan Foyth has to play right back. There's an injury crisis there for Unai Emery. Albiol and Pau Torres as ever in the central defence. Alfonso Pedraza at left back. A midfield three of Trigueros, Etienne Capoue and Dani Parejo. And up front, Gerard Moreno, Paco Alcacer and Moy Gomez.
A lot of quality for this game on Villarreal side, with Manu Trigueros, here it is, next to Dani Parejo, trying to provide with a lot of assists to Paco Alcácer and Gerard Moreno. It's so that Villarreal, they were brilliant against Salzburg in Europa League, but they need to improve in La Liga. Last performances weren't so good against Betis, a defeat, the draw away against Elche. Maybe too much, too defensive against these teams, and they've been unable to win the games. But well, always Bilbao, it's a good place to change your dynamic and try to be back at home with 3 points.
Well, they thrashed Celta Vigo on the 8th of January, but since then not been able to pick up a win. 2-2 draw with Granada, a 0-0 draw with Huesca, 1-1 against Real Sociedad when Real Sociedad equalised in the 93rd minute. 2 up against Elche and pegged back in the end to 2-2. And then losing last time out. And of course, last time out against Betis, they were up against a former coach of theirs, Manuel Pellegrini. So let's hope for their sake tonight the fortunes are better against a former manager. Villarreal then kicking from right to left. Ball played forward towards Manu Trigueros. And of course, earlier in the season when these two teams played each other, the game ended 1-1. So, as always in Spain, head-to-head goal difference. So that matters a little bit more tonight. It will be a little bit more than just 3 points for whoever wins, if there is a winner.
That game away in La Cerámica Stadium was one of the last of Gaizka Garitano as Athletics manager. They take the lead, but they've been unable to defend that goal scored by Iñaki Williams, and in the end it was 1 point for each side. And disappointing performance of Athletic. And then obviously Marcelino came here and all changed, and it's like a complete different team. And as we expected, it's Villarreal with the possession at the beginning of the game. They have quality. Here it's Manu Trigueros, here it's Parejo, and Athletic can feel comfortable with that 4-4-2 formation, just waiting to run with the spaces and try to score the first one.
Albiol across to Pau Torres, now with Pedraza into Parejo. Pedraza once more, again trying to get away from Oscar de Marcos. Moy Gomez having trouble at the moment getting out of their own first third. The shot comes in, it's blocked, goes out for a throw. Intense start from Athletic Club.
Capoue not happy. He's feeling the pressure of Athletic. Look at Athletic's players. They understand that it's something important for them. They find a way to recover the ball up there. So high pressure of Athletic with Raul Garcia leading it.
Well, we know how demanding he is as a coach, Marcelino, and I just get the feeling that this might be a squad that responds to that. They certainly have so far, although it's of course early days. Long kick out from Sergio, trying to find Gerard Moreno, who's been in such fantastic form this season.
When Villarreal lost Paco Alcácer, but especially Gerard Moreno, they look like a different side. They really need the Catalan striker. He was brilliant, scoring a lot of goals. And now they are back. Gerard Moreno already scored. Not the case with Paco Alcácer. Paco Alcácer is still unable to find the best version since he came back after being injured.
Well, he missed a penalty on Thursday in that game against Salzburg. He then scored, and they're 2-0 up in that game. They play the second leg next week. Berenguer.
It was Imanol Idiáquez today in the bench for Villarreal. He knows what's the feeling to play against Athletic. He was a former Real Sociedad man, so I'm sure that it's special for him to be in that stadium. He loved to play the Basque derbies when he was a player.
Yuri trying to get down the left-hand side. Unai Lopez, who scored a superb free kick in the win over Cádiz.
Today, no Unai Vencedor, no Unai Miquel-Vescas, changing two midfielders. Marcelino, it's an important game then for Unai and also for Dani Garcia, the former Eibar man.
Well, Unai Lopez came in against Cádiz and having done well coming off the bench in the cup game against Levante, and he did well enough against Cádiz to keep his place this evening.
And as we expect, look at Villarreal. Pedraza is really up front, the left back. So when they have the possession, it's like Villarreal close with three defenders because Pedraza is trying to attack and to the left. Now when it's time to defend, it's a back four, obviously. But Pedraza will try to attack to the left and the other players defending with three.
Here is Pedraza under pressure from Raul Garcia. Parejo. I said earlier that Marcelino didn't leave on the greatest of terms. That wasn't true with all the players, and he did mention in his pre-match press conference that he wanted to thank Parejo for the way he behaved in those last weeks, and I suppose throughout the entire time he was at the club, but they were at the club together. Long ball forward, but there's no one there to hold it up for Athletic Bilbao. It will run all the way through to Pau Torres.
A lot of memories for Marcelino to be playing against Villarreal. It's a long history between Marcelino and Unai Emery. They work in the same clubs, they know the same places in different periods, they know each other so well. Unai Emery prefers to another kind of football, have the ball, take the ball, pass it. Marcelino is different, a different style. And it's like Marcelino's been waiting for the right moment to come to Bilbao, and it became like a love history from the first moment.
Well, he hadn't always been nice about the club before, had he? But as you say, it's no sooner he'd taken over, and it always helps to get a winning start. All that was forgotten, and he's very much a favourite at the moment.
The first three games under Marcelino were 2 against Barca, 1 against Madrid, 1 in La Liga and 2 in La Super Cup. So it looked like the worst possible scenario to start, and it was the opposite. They lose against Barca here in that stadium in La Liga, but then they beat Real Madrid, they beat Barca, they win a title, and it was all easier.
Capuy, who, as Tony mentioned at the start of the game, has struggled slightly to adapt to playing for Villarreal. It's not the same as playing for Watford in the Premier League. Different things being asked of him. That's a position, of course, where Villarreal desperately missing Iborra. Here's a chance for Raul Garcia. He gets the shot away.
It's the same mold, Raul Garcia, isn't it? If he can shoot from any distance, from anywhere, he will do it. High pressure. Dani Garcia is the one who recovers the ball. Then now Iñaki Williams. Look, first touch, Raul Garcia. First chance for Athletic. It's deflected by Pau Torres.
Well, certainly from the first replay of the two we saw, it did look as if it was, but evidently not. The goal kick taken by Asenjo.
Really high pressure of Athletic players. Every Athletic player tries to control a Villarreal man. that doesn't leave anyone free. So Asenjo looks to connect directly with Paco Alcácer with that long ball, all easy for Athletics defenders.
Here he is, Paco Alcácer, back to Parejo. He finds Moy Gomez. He's got Pedraza to his left. Pedraza back to Moy Gomez. Parejo rolls that one back out to the full-back. His cross is headed away by Uribe.
No under Capa on the right back today for the Basque Lions, so that it means that Oscar de Marcos at also is playing really good football under Marcelino. Will try to control every time that Pedraza goes into the attack. Will be quite interesting that. De Marcos against Pedraza.
Capuy back to Albiol. The referee's whistle blown.
Williams not happy at all. He scored a beautiful goal against Cádiz. It's so that he's not a proper number 9, but also finding the way to play his best football and waiting for the moment. It will be so special for Iñaki Williams, for the moment that he will be able to play in this stadium with his younger brother Nico, that is playing in the second team of Athletic Club, scoring a lot of goals. He plays more or less in the same position as Iñaki Williams, but he prefers to play on the right. So maybe the future for Athletic Club is Iñaki and Nico Williams, the Williams brothers.
Well, they've been in the same squad a couple of times so far this season. He's not on the bench tonight.
He didn't make the debut with the first team, but he traveled with the Athletic to certain games.
Pedraza. Back to Moy Gomez, back with Pedraza.